This movie tells story about a woman looking for her missing younger sister. She then finds out that her sister has been kidnapped, pulling her into a dangerous world of human trafficking and crime. With no one else to help, she decides to take action herself, using her martial arts skills to fight and get revenge on those who took her sister. Without further ado, let's get right to it. The movie No Mercy begins with a woman driving a car to a repair shop. Wearing a red dress and high heels, she looks elegant. However, her elegance is lost when she gets out of the car and reveals her entire body covered in bloodstains. Moreover, she is walking while carrying a large hammer. Not far from where she was walking, a man was seen repairing a car engine. He is Chang Seo, a mechanic and the owner of the workshop. Apparently, this woman was looking for a man named Chang Seo. Suddenly, Chang Seo intended to get out from under the car when he found out that this woman was looking for him. However, who would have thought? The woman immediately slammed the hammer, and the story of this movie began. The next scene shows a woman who has just gotten out of prison. She is named Eun Hye. While on the way to her house, her sister Eun Hye was seen, immediately welcoming her sister's arrival. They are seen releasing each other's longing by hugging, followed by dinner together. Not to forget, Eun Hye also gave a small gift to her only sister. Eun Hye, who received a hairpin from her sister, looked very happy. Next, they got ready for bed. Here, Eun Hye asks her sister that she quit school and wants to work instead. However, Eun Hye did not agree and continued to encourage her favorite sister. For your information, both of their parents have passed away, and the siblings only live together without any other relatives. The next day, Eun Hye woke up to find a letter with a special gift from Eun Hye for her sister. The gift was bought using the money that Eun Hye had been sending her. The gift was a dress and red high heel. Moving on to the school where Eun Hye studies. When the study hour is over, with a scared face, Eun Hye tries to put her books in the bag. Suddenly, she was confronted by 3 female students when the teacher and other students had left the class. These 3 bullied Eun Hye, and they refused her request to go home first because her sister was waiting for her. Finally, Eun Hye was taken by the 3 to a karaoke entertainment place. At the karaoke place, one of her friends with short hair was treated as a slave by her other 2 friends. The 2 people were also very arbitrary towards Eun Hye. They even dared to turn off the phone call from Eun Hye's sister and forced Eun Hye to take off her clothes, which was then recorded by the 2 friends. Long story short, Eun Hye has changed her clothes, but she is with several men and female friends who are rounding her. Eun Hye looks very scared because she keeps being teased by the men. Not long after, Eun Hye's cell phone rings again, and her sister calls her back. With a threatening tone from the man beside her, Eun Hye is forced to lie to her sister. Elsewhere, Eun Hye is seen waiting for her sister, because previously Eun Hye said that she would be home soon. However, it turns out that Eun Hye was used as a bait by her friends to get money from men. The 3 men then acted as if they were saving Eun Hye before she was raped. Because of the huge profits they make, the 3 men continue to use Eun Hye as bait. Until one day, Eun Hye meets a man who is ferocious and cannot be trapped by her friends. The 3 men finally lost and had to let Eun Hye be bought by the thug. Even worse, the man took Eun Hye away. The following scene shows Eun Hye busy looking for her sister. She went from one place to another, but did not find her sister. Because it was getting late, Eun Hye decided to return to her house. At home, unintentionally, Eun Hye looks at a photo of her with her family. There was also a photo showing that Eun Hye had won the Taekwondo Martial Arts Championship and several award medals. The next day, Eun Hye goes to the school where her sister is studying by wearing clothes given by her sister. Eun Hye looks elegant and beautiful. Her arrival aims to find the whereabouts of her sister who has not yet been found. Worse, the school trivializes Eun Hye's report on Eun Hye's disappearance, and instead says that it is common among naughty teenagers. Not only that, the teacher also told Eun Hye that she didn't need to worry because Eun Hye would definitely come home. Hearing that, Eun Hye was dissatisfied with the school, who blamed her for forcing Eun Hye into public school. A little information: Eun Hye has a mental disorder, or can be said to be autistic. Therefore, she can't fight back against the people who hurt her. When Eun Hye was about to leave school, suddenly one of Eun Hye's classmates approached her and showed a video recording showing Eun Hye being bullied by her friends. Long story short, in the evening, Eun Hye's 3 friends were seen changing clothes in a restroom. The short-haired girl mentioned about Eun Hye's situation, who had been sold by her 2 friends. Casually, they said they didn't want to discuss it anymore. Without realizing it, Eun Hye was waiting for them outside the bathroom. Holding back her emotions, Eun Hye tried to ask about her sister's whereabouts, but they underestimated her and chased her away. Quickly, Eun Hye hit the 2 girls, then took one of them to the place where the man who sold Eun Hye was.
그냥 가세요. 내 동생 어딨어?
After successfully paralyzing the punk, Eun Hye urges the man to tell her everything that happened. Because of the pressure, the man finally tells Eun Hye the chronology of what happened, that they were forced to hand over Eun Hye because they couldn't beat the thugs who raped Eun Hye. Hearing that, Eun Hye is frustrated and leaves while carrying a card that says Happy Cash Credit, which is thought to be a company owned by the person who took Eun Hye away. Then on top of the building, Eun Hye tried to call the number listed on the card. Because she didn't get an answer, Eun Hye finally decided to call the police station to report the case of losing her sister. Instead of getting help, Eun Hye was complicated because she had to undergo a series of long and complicated procedures. After getting a rejection from the police, Eun Hye finally decided to look for her sister herself. Long story short, Eun Hye went to a place that was allegedly the office of an illegal business called Happy Cash Credit. Without further ado, Eun Hye interrogates the company's employees who have been battered by her, then leaves while carrying a stun gun and a car belonging to the company. Elsewhere, a man named Ha Sang-man is seen, who has sold Eun Hye to the owner of a prostitution business. Here there is also a short-haired woman who will teach Eun Hye to satisfy men. Not long after, the business owner entered the room where Eun Hye was. He wanted to try Eun Hye and forced her to do oral to him. Eun Hye, who refused, immediately bit the man's cock. Because he felt wronged by Eun Hye, the owner of the prostitution business called Ha Sang-man again and wanted to return Eun Hye to him. Simultaneously, Eun Hye was already in a parking lot, waiting for the owner of the car with the horse symbol, who had allegedly sold her sister. The next day, after a night of waiting in the car, Ha Sang-man finally got out and left the place. Not wanting to lose track, Eun Hye hurriedly drive her car at full speed to follow Ha Sang-man. Not long after, there was a phone call from an unknown number, and Ha Sang-man immediately picked it up. It turned out to be a phone call from Eun Hye, asking about the whereabouts of her sister who had been sold by Ha Sang-man. Because she didn't get a good response, Eun Hye immediately turned off the phone and attacked the car driven by Ha Sang-man. Without further ado, she immediately attacked Ha Sang-man with a stun gun until Ha Sang-man fainted. After that, Ha Sang-man woke up with his neck tied by a rope from behind the car seat. With a cold stare, Eun Hye told Ha Sang-man to take him to the place where Ha Sang-man sold her sister. Because Ha Sang-man could no longer strangle his neck while driving, he finally slammed the steering wheel to crash the car into the side road. There was a fight between the two of them, which was eventually won by Eun Hye, although she had a hard time fighting back because their strength was equally strong. After defeating Ha Sang-man, Eun Hye immediately put the man's body into the trunk of the car. Then, she called a number that was in Ha Sang-man's cell phone contact. Sure enough, Eun Hye managed to communicate with the owner of the prostitution business. Not only that, Eun Hye also got information about her sister. Without lingering, Eun Hye immediately drove the car at full speed to go to the prostitute owner's place. It doesn't take long now Eun Hye is at the place. After seeing Eun Hye's hairpin worn by a short-haired woman, Eun Hye immediately took it with anger and asked her to show the owner's room. With a cold stare, Eun Hye asked about her sister's whereabouts. Feeling like she's being played, Eun Hye attacks the man, and a fight breaks out between the two of them. After the man was beaten by Eun Hye, the short-haired woman was finally forced to explain the chronology of events, starting from when Eun Hye tried to call her house but no one answered the phone call, and it forced Eun Hye to call a mini-market number, which finally Eun Hye was taken by a man wearing a suit about 1 or 2 hours ago. After hearing that explanation, Eun Hye immediately killed the owner of the prostitute, then left the place while carrying the mini-market number that Eun Hye had called. Before going to the mini-market, Eun Hye threw Ha Sang-man, who was still in the trunk of his car. Not long after, Eun Hye arrived at the store and immediately asked about the call from her sister. The shopkeeper's mother, who didn't know anything, immediately called her husband. And then came out an old man shopkeeper who looked very scared to see Eun Hye. Reluctantly, he finally told Eun Hye that he had been raping Eun Hye all this time. His wife immediately went berserk and left after learning about her husband's evil behavior. With teary eyes wrapped in emotion, Eun Hye immediately dragged the old man's body right in front of the convenience store door.
일단 이거 좀 놓고. 웬 여자가 돈 얘기를 해서
After torturing the old man until his fingers were cut off, Eun Hye immediately left the place with some information saying that there was a photographer and owner of car repair who was suspected to be in the same group as the old man, who had also fucked her sister. Without further ado, Eun Hye immediately persecuted the photographer after seeing a photo of her sister displayed in the studio.
진짜 몰라 아무것도 몰라. 아니야 이쁘게 해주려고 그래 이쁘게 가만히 있어봐.
뭔 얘기들을 그렇게 재밌게들 하고 있어?
우리 동네에 끝내주더라고.
자, 좀
After beaten the photographer, Eun Hye continued to the next target, which is owner of car repair named Chang Seo. In this scene, we can recall the opening at the beginning of the movie, where the woman wearing the red dress is Eun Hye. Arriving there, Eun Hye immediately walked into the workshop with a large hammer that she accidentally found there. Not far from where she was walking, there was an old man who was under the car. Eun Hye asked the man about Chang Seo's whereabouts. Chang Seo's feeling lucky because beautiful lady is looking for him, and yet he had no idea what about to happen. When Chang Seo was about to get out from under the car, Eun Hye immediately hit the hammer right on his fingers, and the revenge action took place again.
사진관 이장욱한테 전화 받았지.
전화했어 아파 알려줘.
누구한테?
그 사람 따라다니는 돌멩이.
We then take into a flashback that shows why Eun Hye case were complicated. This due to Eun Hye ask mini-market owner that has been raping her for a while to redeem her at the prostitution. However, the mini-market owner asked his friend the photographer and the car repair owner to redeem her. Chang Seo, the car repair owner, then remember that one of his VIP customer was looking for Eun Hye's whereabout. He then called his VIP customer a politician named Park Yong-chun. Park Yong-chun then ordered his man to pick up and redeem Eun Hye on prostitution place. It is also explained here how Park Yong-chun could meet Eun Hye at the first place. It happened because in the past, Chang Seo, the car owner workshop, used to rape Eun Hye in the Park Yong-chun's car that was being repaired at his workshop. Unintentionally, Eun Hye's underwear was left in the car, so Park Yong-chun was curious and interested to know Eun Hye's and ended up raping her. After being used by Park Yong-chun, Eun Hye then began to suspect the condition of her sister after school, who does not seem well, but Eun Hye doesn't want to tell her. After that, Eun Hye investigate and found out that her sister was taken by a suspicious car. Eun Hye then follow the car and arrives at a hotel, where Eun Hye will be raped by the politician. There is a fight between Eun Hye and the politician, which causes the politician to lose one of his eyes due to Eun Hye's screwdriver stab. After remembering all the past events, Eun Hye decided to directly contact the politician's subordinate. This handsome man in a suit named Jung Wo, who is a subordinate of Mr. Yong Chun, the politician ordered to kidnap Eun Hye, to be used as a bait for revenge against Eun Hye, who has made Mr. Yong Chun's one eye disabled. All this time, Jung Wo has been spying on Eun Hye and her sister's activities. However, because he couldn't bear it, Jung Wo always lied about the information about Eun Hye's family to Mr. Yong Chun, until finally, Mr. Yong Chun found out that his subordinate was lying to him. Then he threatened Jung Wo not to lie anymore.
찾아는 봤냐? 아니면 무조건 물어봐. 눈 감아준 거냐?
After finishing contacting Jung Wo, Eun Hye immediately drove her car to the place where Mr. Yong Chun was. Long story short, Eun Hye has arrived at a villa where Mr. Yong Chun will be resting. With tight security, Eun Hye managed to penetrate into Mr. Yong Chun's resting room. Carrying a gun, Eun Hye points it at Mr. Yong Chun's head, and a fight ensues.
나 이 씨발.
After defeating all the guards, Mr. Yong Chun immediately rushed to escape, but Eun Hye won't let him escape and immediately chased him. A car chase ensues until their cars collide. After Mr. Yong Chun was shot by Eun Hye, he managed to escape from Eun Hye's pursuit, whose car fell into the bushes. On the way, Mr. Yong Chun contacts Jung Wo and instructs him to inject a poisonous drug into Eun Hye's body to kill her. While Eun Hye is struggling in her car stuck in the bushes, she suddenly gets a call from Jung Wo telling her to meet him, and he wanted to return Eun Hye. Eun Hye arrives at the place Jung Wo mentioned. Suddenly, Park Yong-chun man crash Eun Hye car. When the man tried to attack Eun Hye, she's able to shot him down. At night, it's seen that Jung Wo is already in a hanging condition with a bloodied, battered body, held captive by Park Yong-chun. Apparently, Jung Wo has betrayed Park Yong-chun with the intention of helping Eun Hye's and her sister. But unfortunately, his action was discovered by Park Yong-chun, so he had to be killed by him.
이래서 유기견은 잘해주면 안 돼.
Meanwhile, elsewhere, Eun Hye is cleaning herself up in a toilet. Now, Eun Hye is getting ready to have a big fight against Park Yong-chun. Park Yong-chun himself is already prepared lot of bodyguard to welcome Eun Hye attack. Not long after, the sound of a car and a car light approached them, hitting some of the bodyguards. The situation became very tense because the car driven by Eun Hye was attacked by all of Park Yong-chun's bodyguards. While they fight, Park Yong-chun escapes into the room where Eun Hye is. He tries to use Eun Hye's sister to make her weak. Eun Hye, who hears the coughing sound of her sister, fights back against the guards as she is about to be killed. After defeating all of Park Yong-chun's bodyguards, Eun Hye rushes straight to the room where her sister is kept. Without being known to her, Park Yong-chun was already behind the door ready to attack her, and a fight between the two of them ensued. After an exhausting and emotional fight, Eun Hye finally managed to finish off Mr. Yong-chun with the last of her strength. Then, Eun Hye took her sister away from that place as far as possible, even to move to another city to start a new life. The end! What do you think about this movie? Let us know on comment down below. If you enjoy this video, please like and make sure to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out our next movie. That's all for today. See you on the next one.